Brian, you talked about it. Is that where we're at? Michigan's favored in this league, and that's the way it's going to stay?
Yeah, I do now. I mean, obviously Purdue's in conversation. I think you look at, we'll talk about it later on, but Purdue, Illinois, that's going to be a great game. They've got the experience and they've got the ability. They've got bigs that can, I think challenge Michigan's bigs. You look at guard play. As far as Purdue goes, like Fletcher Loyal is a guy that I don't think is talked about nearly enough. To me, he is the X factor in every game that Purdue plays because he spaces the floor. He does everything the right way. So there's a team. I think Illinois you have to have in that conversation as well. I think Boswell's injury actually is a good thing for this Illinois team because it has other guys that have to step up and play different roles. And then when, Boswell's back, now all of a sudden they've got some experience. They understand what Brad expects because we all know Brad and the expectations he has is extremely high. So getting those guys to fill those roles and handle the injury, I think is important. And then I'm going to say this, and it's just been the way I've seen them in person. But the way Nebraska is playing right now, the way that they're playing on the offensive end, here's defensively, I don't know how you guard them. And the reason I say that is because guys are making plays throughout the entire time, whether it's Sam Hoiberg, who just goes in and gets more offensive rebounds. He's leading their team as far as defensive rebounding, by the way. Like the way Sam Hoiberg plays, I can't tell you enough how much I love watching Sam Hoiberg play basketball because it's simple. It's all little things. But then you get Frager and what he's able to do by spacing the floor. You look at all the different guys that they've got. Rink Mask, when it goes to the top, now all of a sudden they go the DHO action and they're able to get cutters and the way that they move the basketball. And then defensively, the way they guard, it's different. Most teams aren't used to having the double team come from the baseline. Now all of a sudden they're rotating out of it. They're all confused as far as what they're able to do. So system-wise and personnel-wise, it's really become a really great mesh. So I know Nebraska's schedule and what they have coming up, we're going to get that answer as far as if Nebraska's at that level. But my eye test, to me, they're at that level with those guys. They really are as far as how they're able to do. The question mark I have for you guys is Michigan State. Are they in play? I still believe they are. Like I just Tom Izzo, they're physical and they're going to run in transition. I think they're going to have a say in this, but I know that they've dropped a little bit as far as the last couple of weeks and how they've gone about it.
No. You ain't getting away with that. We know Michigan State going to be there. The question is, what's up with your badges? Are your badges real or are they pretenders? That's what we want to know. I know what Tom Izzo going to be doing. Let's get into these badges.
Some of the smoke, RZ.
RC, I'm going to tell you right now.
I know what the other team. I know what Hoiberg and all that. Michigan State, Purdue, Illinois. Let's talk about these badges, man. What's up with these badges?
Okay.
Let me know.
So
let's do that.
Honestly, and I'm probably the toughest, grader when I watch Wisconsin basketball. I see all their games. I do their radio. Like I don't like saying they're good because people say, "Oh, you're a homer." So I do like I'm probably the toughest. I'm probably a little bit easier on Marquette when I call Marquette games versus when I call a Badger game. Just to be honest,
like a mercy rule though, right now. That's like picking
that.
on.
They need it. They need it.
It's not a mercy rule. There's some pieces there. They just got to get rid of
man. Don't bully Marquette right now. Let's leave it in the Big Ten.
But when you talk about Wisconsin, I didn't think they were real. I didn't at first. I thought there was a lot of things that they needed to do to improve defensively. I thought Nick Boyd was really good, but I thought at times Nick over-dribbled. The last 4 games during their winning streak, there's something I think it's like 23 assists, only like 4 turnovers. So his ability to really pass the ball, the way John Blackwell is playing, Nolan Winters anchor in the middle, and how he's able to stretch the floor. And the Michigan win. Like every team has a win where they finally believe in themselves. The Michigan win was that for Wisconsin. I mean, in the locker room afterwards, as I'm interviewing Greg, the belief that you could hear all of it. And Greg had the big smile on his face as far as, I knew this team had a chance to be special. We just needed to go prove it to ourselves. So you take that Michigan win. Now all of a sudden you go and you handle business. You could have lost at Minnesota. Minnesota ties it up. John Blackwell drills a game-winning 3. You take care of Rutgers. You go on the road. You take care of Penn State. Last night, guys, Penn State was never in that game at all. And I thought it was a complete 40 minutes of basketball by Wisconsin. And that's what good teams do. If you got a team down, you dominate them all four. You don't let them in.
Penn State hadn't started the Big Ten season yet, so we don't brag on that. They hadn't even started.
Hey, so you want, but RC now they played Michigan. This Michigan team that I said was the best.
They almost got them.
Penn State had one of the worst possessions I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. Otherwise, they have a chance to win. So as much as you want to tell me, RC, that Penn State didn't start the Big Ten season, they tried to start it against Michigan.
They did. By the way, you can bet Wisconsin at BetMGM to win the Big Ten plus 15,000. I mean,
I'm probably still not betting it, but I mean, I do think they're in that top tier now. And I did not think that. I thought they were more in that Indiana tier, RC, but I would move them up to that top tier right now.
What's interesting, Jarrell, is that, you know, with I think all of us would probably say Purdue when we're thinking about, all right, word association in the Big Ten, you go Michigan, then Purdue. Nebraska is actually the second betting favorite at BetMGM plus 275 to win the Big Ten. I got to retrain my brain. I think I'm just conditioned to like not believe Nebraska, and I think that time has probably come to an end. This is a real team.
You waiting on the fall off like J. Cole, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, like maybe it just
maybe it just fall off like Cole. Yeah, I know. I
feel you. Go on the road. They win at home all the time. This is what they always do. But like now they're winning on the road too. They beat Illinois on the road. They just won last week on the road. So, I mean, maybe that fall off just doesn't come.
No, and this is like I was with you early on, but after just getting the opportunity to watch them, I think they're going to be there. I think it's going to end up being Michigan, obviously. Nebraska is going to be right there. Again, I think RC just kind of alluded to that. More faith than anything probably in Michigan State. Like, we know what Izzo does. They're going to be around. They're going to be up in that top 3 or 4, game or 2 out of first place. And I think that last team is going to end up being Purdue. And he even talked about Illinois a little bit. I think Illinois was in a really good position, but I do think the Boswell thing, long term, like B said, it might help them. Have some guys step up, but that's going to cost them some games. And in the meantime, I'm pretty confident of that. So I don't think they necessarily going to be in the mix for a Big Ten championship this regular season because of that. But I think those other 4 teams would be those all teams that would be kind of scraping at the top and seeing who can stay close enough, or at least get Michigan a couple times head to head so they can have a shot to walk off with a title at the end.
RC, just your general thoughts. Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, because I want to get to the ACC. So just to wrap it up, just your overview of all of it, Big Ten related.
I would say this: how long is Colin Boswell going to be out? Right? Do we know?
I think they said. I think it's been like 5 weeks, right? At least a month.
Yeah, I don't think Illinois can do a whole lot without him. I think he's that important to that team. One, I'm not saying they're in danger of missing the tournament or whatever, but there's no way. He's one of the best two-way guards in college basketball. His experience and what he means to that team, I don't think you can measure it. I think they'll win enough games to kind of hold it together, but they're not going far, doing a lot of damage without him. The biggest beneficiary, I think, of the way college basketball season is going right now is Purdue. This team has only lost 2 games. They're a damn good team, and we came into this season kind of like saying, is this the Purdue team that's going to get over the hump? I think the Nebraska start has us not talking about Purdue. I think Michigan start, that neither one of those 2 teams we expected starts the way they did for the season to be the way it has. And Purdue is kind of just flying under the radar, right, of how good this team is. And they got, we know Braden Smith showing us against Iowa what he is and what that team could be, man, and Trey Kaufman renting these guys. So I'm still not counting out Purdue and how good they are, and I expect them when it's all said and done. I expect Purdue to be right there with Michigan. I'm not going any further than that as far as beating Purdue. I think they're that good. Yeah,
fair enough. All right, I'm going to actually come right back to you, RC, because now we're going to take a look at the ACC. Duke's a big favorite, minus 325. Obviously, Wake Forest is right there behind them at plus 1 billion. And then you got teams like Virginia, Clemson, Louisville. Who's challenging Duke? I mean, I think we'd all agree that Duke's the favorite, but who really, if you're running to